Okay, so I'm back. Please excuse the incredibly horrible lighting in here, since it's nighttime now. Anyway, I've had more than a few hours since seeing the end of Sherlock, so now I can more calmly express my feelings. So anyway, I was plotting this video, what I was going to say, about cliffhangers. First of all, cliffhangers should never be acceptable. Ever. To me, they're a cop-out. They're a cheap way to not have an ending, not come up with an ending, and to leave room for a sequel, just to make more money or whatever. Hold on, I'll come in right back. Cat was scraping at the door. Anyway, so yes, cliffhangers are never acceptable, but sometimes they're okay, sort of, if you plan on finishing them eventually. Now, I thought of three examples of cliffhangers, and like different degrees of horribleness. So the first one is not so bad I can think of is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the movie. And why this one is okay, it cut just like Inception and Sherlock. It cuts at the credits without showing exactly what happens. But in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, first of all, the bad guy is already dead. The villain for that movie itself is gone. That being Moriarty. Creeper. Anyway, is dead, and yeah, you don't know if what's-his-face, Quartermain, is really coming back to life or not, but I mean, it's heavily implied that he's coming back to life, and, Africa's not gonna let him die, blah, 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 all that. If you haven't seen the movie, I just horribly spoiled you for the entire thing, but, whatever. Spoilers, who cares? So anyway, that cliffhanger is okay, and I haven't read the comics or anything, so maybe the comics end differently and whatever. Perhaps they were leaving room for a sequel, though I highly doubt it, since it's been 5 years and there's not one yet, and I don't see how there could be more to that story. So yeah, it's okay that it cuts to the credits. I mean, it sucked, I guess, when I first saw it, but I got over it, because it's an amazing movie. Alright, so that's the first level. Second I can think of is, of course, Inception. Again, not so much a cliffhanger, just kind of cut to the credits before actually seeing the frickin' end, which I guess if the top is going to keep spinning, then there really is no end, and it was all a dream, or maybe it wasn't all a dream, but he's still stuck in limbo, or a dream, or I don't even know, I don't care anymore. And the reason why that one is okay, or not as bad, is because even if it is a dream, or all was a dream, he's reunited with his kids. You can finally see their faces. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. So it's sort of satisfactory, I guess. And you are left, the audience, I guess it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. The audience is left with the choice of how they want to interpret the end, how they want to interpret the movie, or they can go back and watch it a million times, pay, however much money to go see it again, and try to figure it out. Try to figure out the answer, and what's-his-face, Nolan gets extremely rich. Brilliant, I say it. Brilliantly masterminded. Almost like Moriarty. Which brings me to the final one, Sherlock, which is so not fair, because they were only planning to have 3 episodes in the beginning, or something. And this is the 3rd episode, hence there needs to be an end. And it just cuts to the credits. It's not even letting the audience infer, because there's nothing to infer. You can't go back and rewatch the episode a million times and try to figure out what's gonna happen. No. You're not left with a choice, but either choice is satisfactory, sort of, like Inception. No, you're just freaking boggled. Your mind is boggled because you have to wait indefinitely and maybe for infinity for there to be some kind of closure. It's just not fair. I'm sorry. The villain has to die. And I guess I should have also prefaced this video by saying that I also like happy endings. I mean, I guess it's a personal preference. Some people might not like happy endings. Those people are crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you, but happy endings are good. You can have all the angst in the world. I love angst. I admit I love tension and, you know, conflict. But that's during the story. When you get to the end, I mean the real end, there needs to be an end. The villain needs to die or something. There needs to be an end. All this crap about leaving room open for a sequel just so you can make more money or just so you can boost your ego to explore your world more is just bogus. And I've taken a class on fantasy and science fiction literature, and our teacher was very firm in his belief that sequels are ridiculous and not necessary, and I agree. I don't think that sequels should be made unless, you know, you legitimately ran out of time in your first part or your first book or whatever to tell the whole story. Then that's one thing. But if your story's supposed to have an ending in the first one, that should be it. The end. None of this cliffhanger bullshit. Especially not when it was supposed to be the end. There was only supposed to be 3 episodes of Sherlock, and there's 3 episodes, and there's no end. I'm pissed. Well, I mean, not that pissed, because admittedly, the show is amazing. But I still think creator has some ego boosting thing that he's trying to do for himself. I don't know. It's frustrating. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here before I ramble too much longer.